Imagine a vertically landing reusable rocket. What is this? AI is clearly taking over the world, and it's pretty good at some things, and it's terrible at other things. But I wanted to know, how good is it at designing rockets? So today we're going to use Kerbal Space Program to build rockets that were designed by AI, and then we're going to fly them, and maybe we'll even score them and see how they actually do. Real quick before we get started, I need to remind you guys about the Astro Awards, live in person January 25th and 26th in Austin, Texas. This is our real life awards show where we hand actual physical awards to the people behind the most inspirational, important, and innovative missions of 2024. But what's incredible is we're expanding our programming to 2 full days of panels and keynotes and Q&A from people like Cyan Proctor and Paul Wooster, Zyla Foxland, Joel, and Tegza. But we've even got the entire crew of Players Dawn coming who's gonna be doing a keynote. We've got Charlie Duke, Apollo 16 astronaut. This person's been on the moon, is going to be doing a keynote, and he's also on a panel with Lori Garver, Eric Berger, and Casey Dwyer about vintage space versus new space. We've got Scott Manley coming. He's also going to be doing a DJ set on Saturday night at our ignition party. I'm also going to be playing my music live, which you'll hear some new songs in this video, by the way. And there's Jack Byer, Hillary Coe, John Krause, and many others that we have yet to announce. And this isn't even the list of people that are coming to accept an award. This is the biggest spaceflight event, bringing the public and professionals together to celebrate. Go to astroowards.live right now because we've already sold out of all of our VIP packages. We're almost sold out of general admission, so you better get on it right now. January 25th, 26th, Austin, Texas. We'll see you there. So I guess we're gonna start off with using Meta to design us a rocket, and it's got some interesting options. Let me do one more. We'll see if we can come up with something more interesting. So let's try to get just a little more variety, and we'll see if we can build the most fun. Oh, look at this one, like Soviet style, kind of Soyuz looking. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Again, the winglets. What is this one? Oh, I think we have to do this one. I kind of think we have to do this one. Let's try and see if we can build this in Kerbal Space Program. It almost looks like there's a bit of a side-slung attached orbiter of some kind of like a space shuttle, but it's gonna be really interesting because it only has a vertical stabilizer and some engines down here. So let's start off with the Mark II cockpit. I think will match that look the best. And we have to add the fireworks. Yes, we have to add fireworks. Do we think this is close enough to the thing that AI built? I think it's good enough. We're not trying to be one-to-one accurate here. We're just trying to kind of use these general concepts. All right, I want so this is going to be Meta. This is going to be Meta AI 1. All right, my personal guess, I think we're going to be able to get this thing into orbit, no problem. And back down, I don't think it has the right aerodynamic surfaces at all. So good luck, all the little Kerbals on board. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Throttle up, and 3, 2, 1, lift off. There's our fireworks. Right on cue. Let's get, oh man. It's having a real hard time flying. I'm trying to roll it. Oh man. Why is it so hard to control? You'd think it'd fly, I thought this thing would actually fly fairly decent. Radial out, just hold radial out. Come on. Come on, buddy. This is not quite going to plan. I think it's because we have too much offset mass and too much offset thrust. Okay, those liquid fueled engines burnt out. I mean, it's not working. Uh-oh. Did I speak to, oh. Would you look at that? That is the correct direction. The only problem is our thrust to weight ratio is too low. We don't have enough power. We're slowing down, but we are still climbing. So maybe by the time it drains enough fuel, that thrust to weight ratio will end up being over 1. Yeah, we're gonna be positive now. Here we go. Here comes some acceleration. What a turn of events. We are accelerating. This is actually kind of working. I'm gonna use RCS to our advantage as much as we can. We're gonna need all the help we can get. Okay. Terrifying thought, but we do have to try and do a little bit of a gravity turn. We have to start getting some horizontal velocity, otherwise we're never gonna make it into orbit. And this is scary. We actually have quite a bit of delta V left. It is working from a technical standpoint. We have spent a lot of time in the lower. This is not the most efficient use of rockets and rocket propellant I've ever seen, but it is getting some of the job done. I think we'll be able to eke this thing into orbit though, for sure, despite all of its flaws. Our first AI rocket was not a complete failure. Okay, we're aiming for, about 70 kilometers or 70,000 meters in Kerbal Space Program. That's the edge of space. And now we can kind of really work on accelerating horizontally so that we can raise our periapsis. Because right now, if we cut off the engines, we would fall right back in to the planet. So that's why we accelerate sideways horizontally. That's why rockets do that in real life. Now the one thing I wonder is this, it's draining from these simultaneously. What happened to we have fuel going to these. It's supposed to be draining this first, but we're still gonna make it into orbit. We're still making it into orbit. Just barely. Actually, our apoapsis is stupid high right now. Turn off. We are on a suborbital trajectory with a very high. This technically is suborbital, even though it's completing an orbit around the Earth. The periapsis goes too deep into the atmosphere, so it's not in a stable orbit. So let's go up to our highest spot here, our apoapsis, and we'll raise our orbit. Well, actually, I meant to do this because now we can ditch the external fuel tank, in theory, even though it didn't. Can we actually? Interesting. I ditched it, but it didn't ditch. What happened? Oh, do you think that? Oh no, I think I know what happened. Maybe we mounted the tank, the external tank, just straight up to the rocket instead of to the decoupler. So this one might be my fault. So, okay, the consensus, we can get this into a stable orbit. Had I not made this little mistake, then we would have at least been able to detach from the external fuel tank. And unfortunately, though, this is all the further we're going to get with this mission. We're not even going to attempt any kind of re-entry. But at least, they made it. Stable orbit, they made it. Okay, so I think it's time we rate this. We did get it into a stable orbit. There's no chance of it coming home. Part of that's my fault because we can't detach the orbiter from the tank, but there weren't even any aerodynamic control surfaces. There's no delta wings. There's nothing that was going to really allow this thing to even come home safely. It barely made it to orbit. It flew like crap in the atmosphere. It looked okay. Some of these were my faults, but I give the Meta AI Rocket 1, I give this a 4. This gets a 4. Okay, it's time for round 2. Let's go back into Meta AI again, now that we got this open. Let's try another one. Let's imagine a futuristic rocket launching. That one's interesting. It's actually retro looking, kind of with the Tintin thing. Whoa! A lot of space shuttles still. This one looks a lot more similar to the one we just built But it looks like maybe the AI has learned. It kind of looks like the AI learned from its mistakes. It added a lot more aero features, including forward swept wings on this beast that don't appear to be attached to the orbiter. They appear to be attached to the solid rocket boosters. Okay, let's look at this one closer. It appears that yes, the forward swept wings are attached to the launch towers, but it looks like those could be like clamps. So I think those could let go, and then the wings fly this close to the rest of the launch structure. So please, for the love of God, don't even go towards the launch tower even an inch. I think we have to give Meta AI a second go at a space shuttle, because I think this one, we could actually get this one to work properly. Let's try it. Let's take a look at these side by side again. I mean, I think that's actually pretty good. Let's do this. Here we go. We're first gonna fire up the shuttle engines. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. 3, 2, 1, lift off. I mean, so far so good. Do we dare try to roll? I'm gonna actually throttle down the main engines because I think they're overpowering the solids, and they're trying to make it so this, like, it's trying to pitch over too much. So I did throttle them down a little bit, and now it seemed to have stabilized. It looks like we have a decent amount of control. I think using these space shuttle main engines really did help a lot. It's going pretty well. I'm gonna start trying to do a gravity turn. So I'm trying to pitch over, nice and easy. I don't want to disrupt this thing too much. Again, I'm nervous about those forward swept wings making some kind of a big problem as we get up to speed here. But actually, I gotta give it to it. This is actually flying really, really well. Gonna fuel up the main engines here, or throttle up the main engines here, and get ready to ditch the solids. Ooh, we had a little contact. Had a little contact, but I don't think it was anything. I think it was just the wings that we now ditched. I'm gonna turn on RCS to try to give us a little bit better chance, because we are now really, really, really fighting the external fuel tank. Yeah, she's not very happy. She's not very happy. I mean, this is almost as good as like any space shuttle that I've flown in Kerbal. Now the big question is going to be, A, once this fuel tank runs out, which oh yeah, but then I have those other, okay, this is going to actually work out pretty well. Come on, I want this fuel to run out. It's getting pretty hard to fly. Because once we ditch this external fuel tank, which is going to be right about now, we're going to stabilize for a second. We're going to ditch the fuel tank. We're going to fly away from it. We're going to shut down those other engines, and we're going to try just using those less powerful engines that are at least pointed the right way. And away we go. So notice right now, on the bottom part of the screen, you'll see that it's saying T-minus 49 seconds. It's slightly slower than real time because we are actually accelerating, but we're not accelerating much, because look at how you can still see the external fuel tank there. We're not like shooting away from it very quickly. We're very slowly accelerating, and we're still being pulled down by gravity. So we're going to reach our peak altitude here in 30 seconds. Well, it'll be more, again, a little bit more than real time. But we got to get this thing up to a lot faster than this. We might have to employ, I've got an idea. I'm gonna shut down engine. this one. Shut this one down. And I'm gonna try using a little bit of this engine, the one main one, but I'm nervous that it's gonna pitch us up like crazy. So I'm just gonna have it point us right here. Okay. Just trying to accelerate us as much as I can like this. So notice I've got it pointed. That's as much as it can gimbal down. It has, I don't know, 11 or 12 degrees of freedom, maybe 15 or something. And it's trying to point down, but it's maxed out right now. But we are gaining a lot of horizontal velocity. We're still in the upper atmosphere, or we're still outside of the atmosphere. We're gonna save this thing. Our periapsis is raising once it's above 70. We'll have made it. Will we do it? Yes, we're going to do it, no problem. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and orbit. Beautiful. What do you guys think? That's actually cool. So can it get to orbit? Yes. But I guess now the most important question, now that we're in orbit, can we actually re-enter and land this thing? It might actually fly reasonably well. Like I said, if I happen to land this thing on the runway on the first try, I'll be both impressed with myself, but also with this, I mean, relatively realistic-ish concept. I mean, you could certainly build this. Oh, no way. I'm gonna fire these engines up even though they have almost no thrust in the atmosphere. This will actually help us pitch up. No way. I think we're gonna land this thing on the runway. First try. Oh, it's gonna be fast. We're gonna be fast, but I think I have the control we need to actually do this. Flare a little bit. Oh! What? No, no! That was looking so good! Let's try it again. Get the gear out. We have way too much speed still. Oh god. Oh my god, oh my god. Woo! That was close. I don't want to keep flying that because we got more to build, so I got to give it a rating. For some reason, I don't know if that one's AI's fault, if that one's Kerbal's fault, if that one's my fault. Can't survive the landing. I actually don't know why. That does seem like a little bit of a Kerbal Space Program issue, so I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give that one a 9 out of 10. Meta AI number 2 gets a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna ask AI next to design a reusable rocket. Let's see what happens then. But before we do that, let's take a minute to talk about today's sponsor, Ground News. We might be on the brink of a major shift in NASA's priorities with the announcement of Jared Isaacman being nominated as NASA administrator by Trump. This is one of those huge stories that really makes you think, and thanks to Ground News, I can dive into all the nuances and see how different outlets report the same story. Created by former NASA engineer Harleen Kaur, who worked on the James Webb Space Telescope and New Horizons, Ground News gives you tools to analyze news with insights like political bias, factuality, and ownership of sources. For example, this story has been covered by over 300 outlets with a clear split in political leanings. If I scroll down, I can see every article about this story. If we look at these two headlines, both highlight the controversial nature of the pick, but their focus is different. The left emphasizes potential disruption, while the right zeroes in on Isaacman's private astronaut status and wealth. I can easily see how language is framed, sort by factuality, or even explore how ownership influences coverage. It's a great reminder of why consulting multiple perspectives is key. One of my favorite features that I find myself scrolling through as part of my daily routine is the blind spot feed, which helps me stay informed, balanced, and curious by highlighting underreported stories. Ground News has been an invaluable tool for practicing critical thinking about space, science, world issues, and more, making it easy to understand every angle. Right now, Ground News is offering 50% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan that I use and I love. Subscribe at ground.news/EA. There's a link in the description and a QR code here on the screen to give yourself or a loved one the gift of clarity. It's perfect for staying informed, thinking critically, and understanding the world better. Okay, now back to seeing if AI can actually design a decent reusable rocket. Imagine a vertically landing reusable rocket. What is this? We're doing this. I don't know what this is, but we absolutely have to do this. Are you kidding me? Yes. Where do we even start with this thing? Oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I was hoping for. It's got cupolas on the side. This is a true work of art. I don't know what you would what words in the English language or in all of human history could describe this base thing. Then also, it's like an Escher situation. We got Escher syndrome going here, where the front of this is seeming to be in front, but then if it's parallel, it's like down here, and we're gonna make it parallel. We're gonna make it straight. We're gonna go with human logic. Sorry, AI. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Okay, that is looking... I'm gonna give myself an A+ so far on this. I don't know if we need to add all these extra raceway details. I think it's time to get on to the landing gear legs. The little wheel landing gears. Or maybe we should, let's get some attention going on the engines. Okay, honestly not bad. What do you think? I think we should start off with some hop tests. Make sure this thing can get off the ground a little. Maybe we try to land it on the VAB like old days. And then we can see what kind of performance it actually has if we can get into orbit. All right, this is Meta AI 3. A reusable vertical launch and landing system designed by AI, particularly Meta AI. How is this going to do? And just for a final little look here, comparing the two. I think I did pretty good. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back on this one. All right, so for the first test of our reusable vertical hopper, I think the ultimate test is to try to land it on top of the vehicle assembly building over there. So without further ado, let's give it a try. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so far, high part count is making this thing not fly amazingly from a computer performance standpoint. This thing is sluggish, not just the computer, but also just, man, the inputs on it are not great. So cantankerous. Come on. No, no, no. It's like... There we go. Got a little bit more fine control like I was worried about. Shut down the outer engines. Oh my gosh, that was like the most stressful hover and landing I've ever done in my entire life. And we're just look at that. We are barely on the edge. I'd say I give its hovering and fine control skills like they're about a 5 at best. Maybe more like a 4. But launching should be fairly straightforward. Let's just give this thing a little go ahead. See if we can get into orbit, even though it's not a multi-stage rocket. You never know. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's track those landing gear. That does look kind of cool, actually. Also, this is doing a major no-no of rocketry, which is increasing surface area. You have all of these tanks down here that are just completely adding drag on the entire ascent. You know, and that's why rockets are normally so tall and skinny, is because if you have the lower the frontal area to the wind stream, the more aerodynamically efficient it is. And this thing is about as inefficient. We can look at its drag here. Oopsies, wrong button. What was dragged in? It's like aerodynamic forces. You can see all the little red drag lines along all of these pieces. So, yep, not great. Yeah, I definitely kind of cooked this one a little bit. Now we don't have enough propellant really to re-enter. It would be kind of fun to land this in water and act like this is like a, yeah, like a tube or something. I'm just nervous that some of these materials will not survive re-entry. Holding up so far. My biggest concern is we only have 325 meters per second of delta V. I'm guessing terminal velocity of this is going to be about probably 200. So that gives us not a lot of margin to perform a suicide burn or a hover slam maneuver. This could get very, very interesting. So two things are happening that are interesting. One, our delta V is going down a little bit because we're getting into the atmosphere and rocket engines just aren't quite as efficient in the atmosphere. But two, the landing gear can slow us down, but they also want to flip us over because they have extra... Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to do like all things at once. I'm gonna turn off those side engines. Oh, we actually gain delta V by using the more efficient side center engines. Oh my gosh. What are we here? 3. I need a quick save. Oh god. Oh god. Oh! They survived? I mean, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Not reusable. I did quick save it right there at the end. Let's try and get it. Let's try and actually see if we can do this with what we have. Shoot, okay. So I can do it quite a bit later than I think. That one did not survive. Okay, not 400. This is actually possible if I don't mess it up. Big if. Big if. Way too late. Way too late. What am I doing? That was like later than the other one. The greater our acceleration, the more efficient this maneuver is. So. Yeah! Yes! Holy crap! We just built an AI designed single stage to orbit, vertically lift, takeoff and landing, reusable vehicle. Fully reusable. Nothing broke. And like, I never even considered how close the landing gear are to the bottom of this rocket. Okay, come on. That is unbelievable. I even have 12 meters per second left. Just for fun, let's use that 12 meters per second for a celebrational hop. That's all we got. Meta AI 3, I think you get a 77 out of 10 because that's the best rocket design I've ever seen in my entire life. It's incredible. Clearly, I'm gonna make some phone calls here and try to sell this design because it's just too good. I think it's time we try a different AI. Let's go over to Grok. Grok is the AI assistant built into Twitter, or I guess X, and of course it's owned by Elon Musk. So maybe that will help it be more rocket-ish. But actually, no. Honestly, X is filled with a lot of spaceflight content, and a lot of that spaceflight content is very much centered around SpaceX. So it's Falcon 9, it's Starship. Maybe Grok actually has a little bit more of a bias to the design of rocket that looks something more like Starship. Interesting. I did not expect whatever this is. I'm so confused. This is weird. It almost looks like it's, if you're at this exact perspective that the two tanks could be in line with each other, like it's parallel tanks. Let's try it. Let's give this one a go, just for fun. Because maybe I might be able to make this thing fly. Okay, well, first off, it's not off. Not off to a good start. Okay, do you think this will actually stand on the runway? Are these the ones that steering is off? Correct, okay. Let's give it a go. Dang it! Okay, now it's time to see if our throttle actually worked. Ah, this is bad, whatever. We're gonna try it. I also did not have any consideration. Oh, it's all backwards. Who saw that coming? Who saw that exact thing coming? I think absolutely every one of us saw that exact thing. Should have known better. Okay, first off, I got to do a few things. I got to do a few double checks. Okay, they're both looking good. Let's just try a slow roll test. Oh, the crazy thing is my controls are backwards. My center of gravity is awfully high. I think we just got to get it fairly in line with the runway and then just yeet it. I'm gonna throttle down the jet engine. Yeah, that's not great. Oh, look, these engines are way better balanced for each other. I'm just gonna go full send. There it goes right away. I tried, like, maybe I can just send it right away. Hey, let's add like 4 more of those. Screw it, full throttle. 30. Dang it, now we have too much lift on the back. Let me see what happens first, just to get something. There we go. So all we had to do is basically ignore the cart. That was actually like pretty bang on. That was actually kind of awesome. So let's get some speed going. We can actually do this. Here we go. I keep saying we can actually do this, but have faith, because it needs to have enough thrust ramped up. Jet engines take a while. As you can see, it's like, 30 now. Very hard to fly. Should we just give this one an F? I mean, is this just the final straw? Yeah, let's move on. Create a futuristic space plane. Whoa, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I like that there's laser beams popping off the side of it or something. I kind of want to build this one. Okay, time to try out this. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I want to try a firework. I don't think I've ever done fireworks. Cool. Sick. Okay, well, let's start off by trying to do a hover. I believe that we'll be able to get this thing to actually, it will fly. Well, whether or not it flies well, up for debate. But let's turn on. Uh-oh. Already lost something. Why are we so tail heavy? We are flying backwards, and I will admit that perhaps didn't go as planned. Final attempt to just get this stupid thing off the ground and fly and see how well it does. I'm sick of it. Okay, I'm gonna start firing up that engine now. I'm gonna retract the landing gear. Okay, we've got some horizontal velocity a little bit. I mean, it's flying. Let's fire off those fireworks. Yes. I mean, that kind of looks like... Now, can this thing get into orbit? I'm feeling a little bit less optimistic about that, considering it's going so slow still. Nothing broke. I mean, that's... that was actually kind of decent. Should we fix its flaws and actually see if we can do anything with this, or should we just give up? Let's give it a go. Oh, yeah! Okay. She's got some real oomph to her now. This is not what I meant by vertical takeoff, vertical landing. Wrong axes here. Oh. What have we here? What was that for just a second? It went belly flop. Please. Why is it not switching engines? Weird, just because it's hitting them together at the same time. Did not know that was a problem. And not good. I mean, they survived. They survived. Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna do it. Can AI generate some decent images of rockets? Yes, and no, and yes. I give this particular one, I think this one gets a, as far as rocket goes, it gets a 0. As far as a plane goes, it gets a 2. It got worse, flying it more. All right, so the results are in. Of course, this is super serious, so take it super seriously. We gave Meta AI the first one a 4. I don't even know. Then we gave the Meta AI 2, the one with the 4 swift wings. We gave that a 9, probably just because it actually almost kind of was decent. The Meta AI 3, that obviously got a 77 out of 10. Because there's never been a better looking, better functioning, and better existing rockets, just ever. Then we went on to Grok, and Grok, the rocket sled thing, that got an F out of 10. The Grok rocket plane was a 0 as far as being a rocket. A plane, it got a 2 out of 10. But as a fireworks machine, it got an A+. So yeah, you know, mixed results, but overall, it was super fun. And, you know, let me know if you guys want me to do more stuff like this, where it's just kind of casual, fun little videos, doing Kerbal or other things while I'm working on long form videos, because I'm still working on the Apollo video. It's over 7 months in the making. It's about 2.5 hours long. It's my deepest dive video ever on how we know that NASA took humans to the moon. And let me explain. People say, you know, this isn't gonna convince anybody. It's not to convince anyone. It's just to provide resources and answers and really dive into the engineering and all the mechanics. Honestly, I learned a ton making the video. It's super, super fun. When a lot of hard work has gone into it. And even if you think you know a lot of stuff about the Apollo program, I think you're gonna learn something and really, really enjoy just watching this, because it gives you such a good appreciation for what the engineers did in the 1960s. I owe a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping make this and everything we do at Everyday Astronaut possible. If you want to help support the work I do, head on over to patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Okay, don't forget to check out Ground News by going to ground.news/EA for 50% off the Vantage plan. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video. And don't forget to get your tickets to Astro Awards by going to astroawards.live. And actually, if you're looking for a really good gift for a loved one or even yourself, we actually have little gift certificates that you can print out and put in a card, and it looks nice, and it'll be a fun surprise for someone to be able to open during the holiday season. So you can actually find that at everydayastronaut.com/shop, where you'll also find shirts like this, the incredible Hypergolic shirt that I love so much, but also our 1969 collection and lots of other fun stuff at everydayastronaut.com/shop. Thanks everybody, that's gonna do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people.